Hi, welcome to the Global Digital Identity track of the Blockchaingers Hackathon preparatory event hosted by the Ministry of Interior and Kingdom Relations. I'm sitting here with the founder of Blockchaingers and DutchChain itself, Rutger van Zuidam. Welcome.
Thank you, Rick.
How's your day been?
Well, quite exciting. I had to do a keynote in the south of the Netherlands before today's event. That was very exciting because the company we were working with is a very large corporate company, and they basically decided they should be more engaged in their leadership position to take society forward with the use of new technology. So I was in a very enthusiastic mode when I arrived here at the ministry.
Yeah. Spreading the word.
Well, yeah, and working with Singularity University in that is also very exciting because you create a certain environment to be able to discuss new ideas. And then when I arrived here, it was very cool to see such an amount of people interested in the topic of not only blockchain and identity, but also the drive to get into the action and build the products.
Yeah, that's the vibe you sensed during this day.
Yeah. And a lot of people, when we asked who are going to the hackathon, there were about, I think, 70% of the hands were going up. So that's good.
Okay, so that's a good head count for the hackathon event in April.
Yeah.
But before we'll proceed to that, for today, why are we here at the Ministry of Interior and Kingdom Relations?
So the ministry is one of our many partners, and when we work with our partners, we also talk about what are the challenges we see in the domain we're in, the world we are in, our realm, so to say. But also within the organization, and I think the Dutch government very well understands that the way we used to do all kinds of IT projects, but also the way we are used to improving our society, get to a next level, you can't
through
do it
blockchain.
Well, in general, I think. Blockchain is just a means to an end if it's useful, but in general, to make progress, it's no longer that you just have to ask the government and then they will do it. Whether you're not a client or something. No, this new society that we are building each day, and a lot of people are involved, also outside government, is something that we collectively have to co-create. And if you co-create something, I mean, it's not like there is a map you have to find a new land we're looking for here. So there are no maps, there are no signposts.
There's not even a land we know of.
Well, and so when you're in a zone where you try to find out things and explore things, and you don't know upfront where you want to end or where you can end, so what will you do then? And that's why we involve all stakeholders. And with aligned interests during these kinds of tracks. So we have for all these topics you have different tracks, and especially when you deal with identity, well, that's a topic, of course, the government is interested in, but it's also on many levels.
With the vibrant ecosystem that you have here.
But also to get into the action. But I think so. When we to wrap up the question, when we were discussing this matter with the ministry and with the civil servants that are really eager to do things in a different way and find out what really works, then it was really like a no-brainer to host this event here, to open the doors, invite the ecosystem, and have a conversation. And that's also very exciting of today, that on the one hand we had a great keynote speeches, we had a great kickoff by the State Secretary, but also there was a very, very good discussion within the panel, but also with the audience on what are the challenges of today that we can solve actually tomorrow. Because, for instance, creating a new national identity, well, that's a huge project, and it's probably going to take years and years, and it's so complex. But there are identity solutions which can be enabled by blockchain technology, which can actually be implemented within a year.
Yeah,
and that's what we're looking for. Not
and a
the
national
long shots.
identity is one example.
Yeah, and here we are not looking at the national identity, but we're looking at basically interactions. There are several. There's many data that combined makes up your identity. Whether you went to this university or the social graph you have, all the people you know, is also part of your identity. So what if you would lose your identity? What happens then? How can you prove that you are you?
Yeah. What remains of your network?
Exactly.
If you're not you anymore,
yeah.
Recognizably so.
So these are the things to think about, and then, of course, the solutions we are looking for are really practical, and it's basically taking one bite at a time at this huge cake we're having.
Yeah, and today you've had a couple of bites of this huge cake of identity. Is there a certain common denominator you can find throughout the discussions on identity applied to blockchain today? Is there something really sensitive, something controversial maybe?
I think if you look, for instance, at biometrics, we discussed that also today. Then I mean, do you have the new iPhone or not?
An old one.
An old one. Okay. So you can't open your phone with your face yet. So, but I think if you look at biometrics, the same with AI and robotics. Either for instance, if you see that dog walking, the robot dog, you're like, wow, that's really cool, but at the same time, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing a bit.
The dog might be a monster in some time.
Or carry a gun or whatever. But but so the same goes with a bit with biometrics, perhaps, that you can use them for all kinds of good things. But when things go wrong, it can go wrong very badly. Especially when you talk about identity, human specifications, human characteristics that are determined by biometrics. And so that was, I think, there's no really definitive right solution for that. So that's something we're looking for. How can you cope with dealing with that? And on the other hand, I think that it's really a challenge to find out where the world of ourselves and the identity we can create for ourselves can meet basically the world of the government that issues your identity document. But you are not your identity document. Your identity document is just a data point for you. But it's very important in our lives.
It's a pars pro toto.
Yeah. So, but still, I mean, you don't need it on the internet right now, and you can still identify yourself. So where do these worlds get together? I think that's also...
That's what you'll be looking for in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
Leading to the hackathon in Groningen, early April. What do you hope to get out of that? As one of the organizers?
Yeah, of course. First and most easy answer is solutions that contribute to challenges we have defined with our launching customers that are basically sponsoring the tracks and are amongst our partners. So because I think one of the things that is lacking in the space of the blockchain industry, if you want to call it, but in the very young industry of blockchain, clients are lacking. Maybe people want to do some pilots and some projects and some consortium tryouts, but I think we have the opportunity here that teams create a product that give an actual answer to a challenge and solve part of that, but that there's also a business value in there, or a very concrete value for society, and then make it open source, of course. So these solutions will be building blocks for the coming years. And so this is not a one-off event.
And that will grant also credibility to the blockchain technology throughout society, I presume?
Yes, yeah, of course, because if you can prove that the technology can be used for a certain thing that really improves your life, then you start thinking, well, if it can do this, then maybe it can do something else as well. And then I think we can get more people curious and looking into this stuff. Just like what happened with the internet, and people started using it for all kinds of ways of interaction and creating new media and content and stuff like that. And now we have that with blockchain and using information that is validated and working together with large groups of people that don't know each other but still can trust each other.
Yeah, so for this vibrant ecosystem, countless opportunities to address identity issues through blockchain applications, ranging from the cellular level of our biometrical characteristics to the national level of passports, and maybe even to outer space, which Vinay Gupta recounted a couple of hours ago.
Oh, yeah, I can totally imagine that. Of course, we have to find out how blockchain can contribute, because it's not the solution. Of course, it might be part of the solution, but that's what we want to find out. And it's not just identity. Of course, we have 7 tracks. There's healthcare, machine-to-machine economy. You have identity problems in there as well. If you look at the energy transition, if you look at the future of our pension systems, if you look at our digital nation infrastructure, or public safety and security, in all domains, identity challenges are there. So therefore, I think for entrepreneurs, this is a very rich environment with countless of business opportunities, as well as ways of, well, helping our society take the next step. So I'm very excited about that.
Can imagine. Ambition is clear.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Rutger van Zuidam.
Thank you.
And see you at the hackathon in Groningen, early April. Bye-bye.
Bye.